Nuclear disaster was an accident at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant in Ukraine. At the time, it was part of the Soviet Union. It is considered as the only accident in the history of commercial nuclear power to cause fatality from radiation.
It was a result of a flawed reactor. Due to the steam explosion, it releases at least 5% of radioactive material into the atmosphere. Nowadays, Chernobyl was declared a tourist attraction and it's open for the public.
It is important to consider that there are many other nuclear plants operating nowadays. They should all have the preventative measures of having sufficient instruction to all their workers as well as communication devices. Also, to close the reactors of this type and the new designs must have the controllers in the same room.
The Chernobyl disaster took place because there was a nuclear fission. A nuclear fission is the splitting of an atomic nucleus in approximately equal parts, as a result of the impact of a particle, usually with associated release of energy. In other words, there needs to be an attuning of neutrons in the atom. When the attuning takes place, the atom divides into two and 3 neutrons are added. Then the 3 neutrons go on and shoot more and more atoms. This fission, mathematically speaking, can be explained as the exponential growth law.
Well, basically exponential growth is the increase of the size of the number with a consistent growing rate. Exponential growth has 5 variables: percent change, r, time, t, the amount at the beginning of the period, p2, and the amount at the end of the period, p. Also, the Euler number is used the formula p equals p2 multiplying e exponential growth rt. So exponential decay is the opposite as exponential growth. Instead of increasing, it decreases in a constant rate. The exponential decay also has 5 variables: percentage, range, r, the difference is the amount of percentage change is negative, time, the amount of the beginning of the time, and the amount at the end of the period.
In conclusion, we learned that exponential growth is an increase of size in the number with a constantly growing rate, and exponential decay is the opposite as the exponential growth. Instead of increasing, it decreases. I consider nuclear energy as a very clean way to gather energy and produces a lot. The problem with nuclear energy is the cost and the maintenance that it gets. Another con is that nuclear energy creates a lot of nuclear waste and it can be very harmful to the environment. Yes, we are aware that Mexico has a nuclear plant. It's located in Laguna Verde in Veracruz. It's 41 years old. I believe it is safe because it's not near any important city. It has very good safety system, and also the nuclear plant almost never works about 80% capacity, which makes it even more safety. We believe Chernobyl could be prevented because it was caused by an experiment to find a bigger capacity. Also, when the explosion occurred, if the military scientists and engineers used good equipment, then it could save more lives. The disaster is believed that it killed around 30,000 to 60,000 people, but it's impossible to be 100% accurate since a lot of deaths were long-term diseases due to the radiation. Killed almost all living things living near the area, including plants, animals, etc., and also the place is uninhabitable because of the radiation that still exists. There are lethal consequences in other nuclear disasters since a lot of living things can't survive a nuclear disaster, especially explosions. Most of the time, all living things died in the range of the nuclear disaster. Also, when a nuclear disaster happens, usually the place is inhabitable for a long time because of the exponential growth law that the nuclear fission has. Working like this was totally different since we are with students from other campuses that didn't know, so we can work in a different way than we used to.